Have you ever taken a bite of something soft like a piece of bread or a spoonful of oatmeal and suddenly felt like it just stopped right in the middle of your chest, like it was stuck there, not going down and not coming up? You sip a little water, hoping it'll wash it down, but instead you feel a tight pressure, a slow ache, or a strange heaviness in your throat. You wait worried until the sensation passes. Then maybe you brush it off, thinking it's just a fluke or part of getting older. But what if I told you that feeling isn't just discomfort, it's a red flag, a gentle alarm bell from your body whispering that your esophagus may be in trouble? For older adults, this isn't something to ignore. As we age, our muscles, including those in the throat and esophagus, naturally weaken, and our tissues become more sensitive. That means things we once did without thinking, like swallowing, can quietly become more difficult. This makes seniors more vulnerable to conditions like dysphagia, reflux damage, and esophageal narrowing issues that can lead to malnutrition, aspiration, or even silent choking risks. And the scariest part is these changes often come on so gradually that we don't notice until it's a real problem. That's why in this video, we're going to gently unpack what it really means when food feels like it's getting stuck, how to recognize the warning signs early, and what you can do to protect your esophagus and your peace of mind. And make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I'll share a simple but powerful tip you can do in under 2 minutes after meals to help your esophagus stay strong and safe. Let's begin with a story. Helen was a 74-year-old grandmother who adored baking. Every Sunday, she'd make cinnamon rolls for her grandchildren, laughing as they smothered them in icing. But one afternoon, she noticed the doughy bite wasn't going down easily. She sipped her tea, paused, and eventually felt the food pass. The next week, it happened again, and then again. She started avoiding bread, then pasta, then even soft fruit. She didn't tell anyone because she didn't want to cause a fuss, but deep down, she was scared. What Helen experienced is called dysphagia, trouble swallowing, and it affects nearly 1 in 6 older adults. The key is catching it early before it steals your joy, your nutrition, or your safety. Sometimes this stuck feeling comes from something called esophageal stricture. Imagine your esophagus like a soft, flexible tunnel. Now picture that tunnel slowly narrowing like a straw being squeezed in the middle. This can happen because of acid reflux scar tissue or a condition called eosinophilic esophagitis. When the walls of the esophagus thicken, food starts to hesitate on the way down. You might not even notice it at first. You chew slower, you sip more water, you sit upright after meals without knowing why. Little by little, the signs build up, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to fix. Then there's the quieter villain, chronic acid reflux. You may know it as heartburn or that bitter taste that rises after a heavy meal. But what you may not know is how often reflux silently damages your esophagus. That burning sensation is more than discomfort. It's a chemical burn wearing down the lining of the esophagus and triggering inflammation. Over time, the tissue stiffens, making it harder for the muscles in your throat to do their job. For some, this leads to a condition called Barrett's esophagus, which increases the risk of cancer. But it rarely announces itself loudly. Instead, it whispers through small episodes of food, feeling slow, heavy, or stuck. Let me introduce you to Richard, 69 years old, who used to love barbecues and thick grilled meats. Over the years, he noticed steak wasn't sitting well. It felt like it stopped halfway, no matter how well he chewed. He assumed it was just a sensitive stomach, maybe part of aging, but during a routine checkup, he mentioned it to his doctor. One quick test later, they found a narrowing in his esophagus. A simple outpatient procedure fixed it in under an hour. Richard returned to his family barbecues with a grateful heart and a new habit of listening to his body. What's important here isn't to panic, it's to pay attention. When food feels like it's getting stuck, even if only now and then, it's your cue to take notice. The body is full of signals, and none are more important than those that come quietly. Seniors often chalk things up to age, but the truth is, not everything that happens with age is normal. Some things are preventable, treatable, even reversible, but only if we're willing to speak up, ask questions, and honor the discomfort instead of hiding it. If any of this is resonating with you, if you've ever had to pause mid-meal, take a breath, or change your food habits without knowing why, I'd love for you to comment below with your age or where you're watching from. It's so meaningful to know we're walking this path together, learning and healing side by side, because food should be joy, not fear. And your body is not betraying you, it's speaking to you. Let's keep listening. Sometimes it's not even solid food that causes the discomfort. It could be a warm bowl of soup or a smoothie that suddenly feels too thick. You might notice it more when you're tired, when you're stressed, or even when you're rushing through a meal. And that's something we often overlook, the way stress and posture affect how we swallow. Your esophagus isn't just a tube, it's a coordinated system of muscles that needs relaxation and rhythm to do its job well. When we're tense, slouched, or eating too fast, those muscles can misfire or tighten up, making swallowing harder than it needs to be. Take Janet, for example. She's 76 and lives alone since her husband passed. She told her doctor that she started feeling like her food wasn't going down as smoothly, especially in the evenings. After some conversation, it turned out she was eating dinner hunched on the couch while watching TV, often distracted and emotionally overwhelmed. She wasn't chewing thoroughly or sitting upright, and her meals had turned into a mindless habit instead of a mindful ritual. When she started sitting at the table again, slowing down, breathing between bites, and practicing gratitude before eating, the stuck feeling happened less often. Sometimes the solution begins with presence. Another factor that's rarely talked about is dehydration. As we age, our sense of thirst naturally dulls, and many older adults simply don't drink enough water throughout the day. But saliva and fluids play a key role in breaking down food and helping it move smoothly through the esophagus. Without enough moisture, even soft foods can drag or feel heavy going down. Some medications also cause dry mouth, which compounds the problem. If your tongue feels dry or you find yourself needing extra sips to swallow basic meals, that's a gentle nudge to increase your water intake, not just during meals, but throughout the day. Now let's talk about what's happening behind the scenes. Your esophagus is lined with nerves that communicate constantly with your brain and digestive system. When those nerves start to misfire, whether from a stroke, Parkinson's disease, or simple nerve aging, the timing of your swallow can become irregular. This is called oropharyngeal dysphagia, and it can lead to coughing while eating, a gurgling voice after swallowing, or even food going down the wrong pipe. And if you've ever choked on your own spit, you felt a tiny example of what happens when the timing is off. But here's the empowering part. You are not helpless in this. Many of these issues can be improved or even prevented with gentle changes. Sitting upright while eating, chewing thoroughly, sipping water between bites, and avoiding lying down right after a meal all support your esophagus. Adding in moist foods like stewed vegetables, oatmeal, or brothy soups helps as well. And one of the simplest but most powerful habits, just slowing down. When we eat slowly, we give our esophagus time to do what it was designed to do, and we reduce the strain that can lead to future problems. Joseph, age 82, discovered this truth the hard way. He loved his morning toast, but every week or two, it would catch mid-swallow. His granddaughter suggested he try adding applesauce or yogurt on the side something to help the food go down smoother. He also started cutting his toast into smaller pieces and chewing each bite 30 times. Within a few days, the stuck sensation disappeared. His breakfast became enjoyable again, not rushed, not feared, but welcomed. That's the beauty of small shifts. They may seem simple, but they often carry the greatest healing power. It's also important to know when to speak with a doctor. If you find that food is sticking regularly, or if you're avoiding certain textures out of fear, that's your sign. If you've lost weight without trying, or feel like your meals are taking longer and longer, don't ignore it. There are safe, painless tests like a barium swallow or endoscopy that can quickly identify the cause. And in many cases, treatments are easier than you'd expect, from stretching a narrowed esophagus to prescribing reflux medication or referring you to a speech therapist who specializes in safe swallowing. And let's be honest, part of the reason many seniors stay silent about these symptoms is because they don't want to feel like a burden. They think, I don't want to trouble my family or make a big deal out of it. But I want you to know this: you deserve ease, you deserve comfort, and you deserve to enjoy every meal without fear. You've spent your life caring for others. Now it's your turn to listen to the quiet wisdom of your own body and care for yourself with just as much compassion. If you're still watching and finding these lessons valuable, please comment the number 1 below, just so I know you're still with me. Thank you for your precious time, your attention, and your willingness to learn something new for your health. It means more than you know. Let's keep going. There's something else you need to know about the way your esophagus speaks, and it might surprise you. Sometimes the body sends signals in ways we'd least expect. That feeling of something catching in your throat might not come from food at all. It could be your esophagus responding to anxiety tension or even loneliness. You see, the muscles in your chest and throat are sensitive, not just to what you swallow, but to what you feel. And for many seniors, especially those living alone or dealing with grief or stress, meals aren't just about nutrition. They're emotional moments. When your nervous system is out of balance, even swallowing can feel off. You might not need a medical procedure, you might need peace. I once met Paul, age 81, who started having trouble swallowing after his wife passed. At first he thought it was acid reflux, but after several tests came back normal, his doctor gently suggested something else: emotional tension. Paul began seeing a grief counselor and started practicing slow breathing before meals. Over time, his symptoms eased. He didn't change his diet, he changed how he approached his meals with presence and calm. This is a powerful reminder that the body and mind are not separate. When one struggles, the other speaks up. But we also need to talk about something even more serious: the silent warning signs we can't afford to ignore. If food sticks often and you're also losing weight without trying, feeling fatigued, or experiencing persistent heartburn that doesn't improve with lifestyle changes, these can be signals of something deeper. While rare conditions like esophageal cancer often begin with symptoms that seem mild at first, that's why early attention matters so much. It's not about fear, it's about power. When we act early, we give ourselves more options, more treatments, and more time to heal. Now let's shift from risk to relief. There's something comforting about routines, and your esophagus loves consistency. One of the simplest things you can do after meals is this: stay upright for at least 30 minutes. You don't need fancy equipment or special exercises. Just sit peacefully in a chair. Let gravity help your body digest and avoid reclining too soon. It allows food to move freely through your system, reduces reflux, and gives your muscles time to relax. Pair that with sipping warm water or herbal tea after eating. Chamomile or ginger are wonderful, and you have a gentle ritual that supports digestion and calms the nervous system. Another helpful practice is to pay attention to the texture of your food. As we age, our teeth, saliva, and throat coordination all change. That doesn't mean giving up your favorite dishes, it means finding smarter ways to enjoy them. Cook your vegetables until they're tender. Use sauces or broths to moisten dry foods, and try smaller, more frequent meals instead of large ones. This lightens the load on your esophagus and reduces that feeling of heaviness after eating. Think of it like walking with a light bag instead of a heavy suitcase. Your body will thank you for it. And here's a 2-minute trick I promised at the beginning. It's something called the chin tuck technique. Before swallowing, gently tilt your chin down toward your chest. This simple movement helps close off the airway slightly and directs food more efficiently into the esophagus. It's often used in speech therapy to help prevent aspiration in those with mild swallowing issues. It's safe, easy, and something you can do quietly at your table without drawing any attention. Pair this with mindful chewing, really savoring each bite, and you've given your body a powerful advantage without needing anything fancy. Above all, please remember, this aging does not mean losing your dignity or comfort. You are not fragile, you are simply adjusting to a new rhythm. The way we care for ourselves must evolve as our bodies change, and the more gentle, aware, and loving we are with ourselves, the more empowered we become. You are not alone in this. So many people feel these same things but don't know how to talk about them. But by watching this, by staying present and open, you've already taken the most important step. So what was the one lesson today that really hit home for you? Please share one habit you plan on adopting in your life. Whether it's sitting upright after dinner, drinking more water, or simply slowing down during your meals, I would truly love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like it and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll always have support, encouragement, and practical guidance right when you need it. Here's to joyful meals, peaceful moments, and a strong, healthy esophagus. You deserve that ease. You deserve to feel safe in your own body. And I'm so glad we could walk this journey together today.